would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Remain standing for a moment of reflection for our troops who keep us free. I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, would you read the Open Public Meetings Act?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flinders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Here.
Mr. Frente?
Here.
Mrs. Laybow?
Here.
Mr. Perkins?
Here.
Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Nacastro?
Here.
Mr. Mania?
Here. First on the agenda this evening is a discussion to congratulate the honoree Jill Dagan, 2013 Professional of the Year Award. Well deserved by Jill. We're all proud of her here in Mount Olive, and I hope she keeps up the good work. May God bless her. Any further discussion?
I agree 100%. I called her the other day to congratulate her, and it's well deserved. And also, just as a side note, I know she does training for various towns for different events and helps other towns as well. And through my office, one of the girls knows a woman who helps with teens that are in distress, different situations, and they're looking for fundraisers. And she contacted me and she goes, "They want to do some activities. Do you did you have some suggestions?" I go, "Let me contact our recreation supervisor and see if she'd be willing to help this lady out." And I gotta tell you, I sent Jill an email, and I don't even think 5 minutes went by, and she said, "Absolutely, give her my information. I'd be more than happy to help." So she not only helps within our parameters, she's there for everybody. She's just phenomenal. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is resolutions. Any comments on the resolutions? Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, should we be including the other resolutions that were added, Lisa?
You have a amended itinerary that has everything on it.
For the public meeting, but under the workshop.
The workshop, you have an amended itinerary as well.
Really?
It was in that packet that I gave to you.
Perfect.
The only thing is the last three, not the last one, but the three up, we're going to do on non-consent when we get to the public meeting. We have to do with the introduction of the budget.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, any comments on the ordinances? Is there any old business? New business? Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Okay, I'll ask for an adjournment to the public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flinders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same. Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Here.
Mrs. Laybow?
Here.
Mr. Perkins?
Here.
Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Nacastro?
Here.
Mr. Mania?
Here. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, next on the agenda, we have a public hearing on the adoption of pre-qualification regulations, Phase 2 exterior restoration of the Mount Olive Baptist Church. Is anyone here that wishes to be heard from the audience? Hearing none. We'll move to the approval of minutes of previous meetings. Mr. Amianda, would you please?
Yes, Mr. President, I make a motion to approve minutes of the previous meetings.
Second?
Paul?
I'll take a roll call. Mr. Almeida?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes on February 11th, abstain on February 25th.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Abstain. Okay, correspondence. We have
26.
26 letters of correspondence. Does anyone have any comments on the correspondence? Hearing none, we'll move to ordinances for public hearing. I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 5-2014, entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, regulating the placement and use of clothing donation bins. Is there anyone from the public wish to be heard on the ordinance? Seeing none. Mr. Ferranti, would you move that, please?
Sure, I'd like to move for adoption and final passage, ordinance number 5-2014.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ambianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
No.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. I declare ordinance number 6-2014 is passed. I'm sorry, 14. 5-2014 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Okay. Next, we have, I open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 6-2014, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, establishing regulations for ice retardant systems within the Township of Mount Olive. Is there anyone from the public wish to be heard? Not, I'll close it to the public. Mrs. Laybow, would you introduce that, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I would like to introduce ordinance number 6-2014 for adoption and final passage.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Nacastro, second. Any council discussion?
Mr. Ambianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Ordinance number 6-2014 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Ordinance is first reading. The next item of first reading is ordinance number 7-2014, entitled An Ordinance of the Township Council of Mount Olive amending ordinance number 31-2013, which established salaries for the mayor, council, department heads, supervisory personnel, and employees of the township clerk's office. Mr. Perkins?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that ordinance number 7-2014 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, that a meeting be held on March 25th, 2014 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading, and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
Second.
Mr. Roman, second. Any council discussion?
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
No.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Okay. I move that ordinance number 8-2014.
Nope.
Next
Sorry.
item on the agenda.
Oh, the next item on the first reading is ordinance number 8-2014, entitled Township of Mount Olive, Morris County, New Jersey, calendar year 2014, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget cost of living allowance and to establish a capped bank. Mr. Roman?
Thank you. I move that ordinance number 8-2014 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and that a meeting be held on March 25th, 2014 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading, and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of law.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Perkins, second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Next item on the agenda for first reading is ordinance number 9-2014, bond ordinance amending sections 3A, 1, 3, 1, 1, and 6B of bond ordinance number 5, 2013 of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, New Jersey. Finally adopted March 19, 2013, as amended September 6, 2013, respectively, in order to increase the appropriation and authorization amounts for the projects described in section 3A1, to delete section 311, and to amend section 6BD.
Just 6B.
Mr. Ferranti?
Sure, I move that ordinance number 9-2014 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and that a meeting be held on March 25th, 2014 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
Second.
Roll call, please. Any discussion?
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Okay, we have consent resolutions 1 through 15. We want to move 12, 13, and 14 to non-consent, is that correct? Anyone else want any move to non-consent?
12, 13, 14, and 15.
Not 15.
Not 15?
Not 15, 12, 13, and 14.
Thank you.
Did you want 15?
Nope.
Alex? Okay.
Mr. Nacastro?
Mr. Nacastro, would you,
Move
that?
consent, yes, I move consent motions 1 through 11 and 15.
Second.
any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Resolution number 12.
Resolution number 12. Would someone make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Mr.
Second.
Nacastro. Is there a second?
Second.
Make a motion
To move,
To move, right.
to move resolution
To
12.
approve resolution number 12.
To approve
Approve
motion.
resolution number 12.
Resolution number 12.
Second.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Would someone move resolution number 13? Mr. Perkins?
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laydow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Resolution number 14. Mr. Perkins again, God bless you.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
It has to be open to the public on all of the.
No.
Non-consent resolutions have to be open to the public.
No.
Absolutely. All resolutions have to have public comment.
I disagree, but I
Okay.
won't disagree with you.
Well,
Jeff, do you have
let's-
an answer?
Let's look at the agenda for a second.
It doesn't say it on there, does it? Oh, yeah, on individual resolutions, it says it right there.
A
Public portion on individual resolutions says on the agenda.
That's
Normal-
not required. I mean, if-
Okay, that's fine.
And the public hearing on the budget resolutions won't be until the April 8th meeting.
I understand. That's fine. I don't mean to question you. You certainly know the procedure much better than I do. I just thought it had to be opened. We always open all the resolutions to the, I thought, so it doesn't matter.
Do you want to open it to the public? Go ahead.
If you're,
Anyone?
You've already voted.
I would say it's on the agenda.
You've already voted on it, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
Okay. But we have members of the public here, so you may want to comment.
it's.
Anyone from the public?
Ned McDonald, Bud Lake. I just want to comment that I believe Rob is correct, that in the past, resolutions have always been open to the public.
The record should reflect, though, that it was open to the public and there was no one who wanted to speak on the substance of any of the individual resolutions, so that there isn't anyone here to challenge ultimately any of the decisions which were made, because it was even subsequently open to the public and there was no substantive discussion.
Thank you, Rob.
Yep.
Roll call.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Council comments on consent resolutions.
Done.
You're done.
We're finished.
Pardon?
You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done.
Okay.
Consent motions, Mr. President.
We've done all that. We're down here on consent motions.
Consent motions. Mr. Amianda, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I make a motion to approve consent motions.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mr. Frente?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes. Administrative reports. Mayor?
Yes, I just want the record to reflect that Mr. Canning had some personal matters that he needed to attend to this evening. After discussing it with him, I told him that they were more important than him being here this evening, and I excused him. I have several matters that I would like to put into the record. First and foremost, after having spent the day yesterday in Mr. D's class in the middle school and listening to him, I thought that it was a good thing to make tomorrow Random Act of Kindness Day in Mount Olive. So that on my Facebook page, we're going to be detailing and looking for comments from people in town who either witness or participate in random acts of kindness. Secondly, March 14th is Pie Day in Mount Olive. Restaurants are posted on the Recreation Facebook page. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Mania?
Colleen wants to speak. Colleen has her hand up.
Colleen?
I wanted to just add on to what Mayor Greenbaum said. It was really nice the other day. We received an email from Bob Peterson and Rose Peterson. They moved. They lived on Parkway. They moved to Florida. And once they got settled in, they sent an email stating that they just really loved their years living here and what a great job Mount Olive Township has done, and the staff, everything, sanitation, road crews, everybody's just always so pleasant, and it made their many years living here in the community absolutely fantastic. And I thought, wasn't it so nice? Here they were, they're off and they moved and they're, down in their new section of their life, and they took the time to send an email back home, so to speak, and thank everybody. And I just thought that was a wonderful thing for them to do. So it's always nice to hear good things.
Absolutely. Just don't tell us the bad ones.
Huh?
Any old business? New business? Legal matters? Jeff?
Just one item tonight, Mr. President. We wanted to provide council with a brief update regarding the ARD matter. At the end of last week, we received the court's opinion in this matter. The trial court is essentially remanding the matter back to the planning board for a further hearing. We're going to confer with Ed Buzak, the planning board attorney, regarding the court's opinion, and we'll provide council with the decision as well as a summary of the history for next council meeting.
Thank you, Jeff. Council reports. Board of Education. Daniel?
Yes, I have something to say. The Board of Education met yesterday, March 10, 2014, at 6:30 p.m. at the administration building. Among the things that were discussed or approved were the board approved the 2010-2015 school budget, which is to be submitted to New Jersey Department of Education as follows. This is a breakdown of the budget. General fund is $80,636, 978. Special revenue fund, $1,026,316, and there is a portion for debt services fund, $5,170,268. Total base budget for the district for the year 2014 to 2015 is $86,836,565. The described budget results in a general fund tax levy of $60,863,620 and a debt service tax levy of $5,587,826. The board also approved capital projects and expenditures for 2014 to 2015 school year, and approved budgeted capital service withdrawal in the amount of $1 million to help finance school projects for 2014 to 2015. And that's just the summary of what was discussed.
Thank you, Daniel. Environmental Committee, Mr. Ferrante.
The only thing I have for Bud Lake Committee, we should be getting the date for the spring cleanup of the lake soon. So once I get that date, I'll make that announcement.
Lake issues? Library Board?
Nothing further.
Senior Citizen, Mrs. Laval?
And nothing to report on any of the committees right now.
Economic Development Committee?
On all three, nothing to report. I reported last meeting, so we have nothing for this one.
TNR?
Same thing, nothing to report right now.
Safety Committee, Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow at the Bud Lake Rescue Squad. After speaking with Chief Bobby Sheard from Bud Lake, I know you were away. They have formed the Mount Olive Joint Emergency Services Committee, which is separate from the Public Safety Committee as well as separate from the OEM Safety Committee. So Mr. Cerrone is in charge of the meeting tomorrow, After tomorrow evening, I will come back to the council with either a recommendation that we modify or abolish what was set up, I think, in 2008 or 9 as the Public Safety Committee under the purview of the council, and I will let everybody know at the next meeting. Nothing to report on Mount Olive Television, except I did get a chance to review the 2013 Christmas party from the seniors, which hopefully will be airing pretty soon. Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. Mrs. Brett. Miss Brett.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Open Space Committee, Mr. Roman.
Open Space Committee met last night. Of only importance to note was that there was discussion of reaching out to the community garden to introduce them to a seed lending and sharing library. For those of you who don't know what that is, only nonprofit organizations can get bulk assortment of seeds from that certain seed manufacturers have in surplus. And since the community garden hasn't developed their own entity as of yet, Open Space is looking to facilitate and connecting the gardeners with the companies. And that's it. On recreation, this March 26th at 7:30 p.m. At the Corner Pub, Mount Olive Recreation will have its first annual sports summit. Purpose of the summit will be to bring all the sports organizations together in order to highlight what they can offer each other, introduce also the high school head coaches of those respective sports, so that a further enhanced dialogue between the high school sports and the recreation sports. There's going to be a presentation of a head trauma program, and also allow the sports organizations to all be told to make themselves available as to what facilities and future programs they have coming their way, and also to outline to them the sports complaint process and procedures. And it's one way also to introduce them to our sports ombudsman, Paula Citrus. And I believe the mayor will be in attendance. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Board of Health, Mr. DeCastro.
Board of Health meeting is next Wednesday. Legislative Committee, I'm meeting with the legislators on the 21st to get any updates on Mount Olive. That's it.
Planning Board meeting was canceled for this Thursday. The next meeting will be the 20th. I will be attending. Okay. Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Nothing? Council comments. Mr. Amiander.
Mr. President, I have no comment.
Mr. Ferrante.
Nothing from me today.
Mrs. Labow.
No comment.
Mr. Perkins.
I would be remiss if I didn't have a short comment. Welcome back, Mr. President. I hope you had enjoyed Florida while we froze up here.
I really feel bad.
I'm sure you do. We could see it on your face. It's been a tough winter for all the Mount Olive. Looking forward to a lot of the exciting programs through recreation that we'll be offering to the community, and time for everybody to start getting moving again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Roman.
I have nothing to report.
Mr. DeCastro.
Nothing right now.
It's good to be back. Even though I was in Florida, one of my neighbors where I was staying was from Mount Olive. And I got an update on all the things that happened in Mount Olive. The library, the ambulance, the fire truck, etc. I wish I could say when I go away next time, nothing bad is gonna happen, but I'll keep praying. Thank you.
Pause, we're not going to do.
Did your friend think that the mayor was doing a good job?
You know, he did say something about that. He was wishing you'd come down, maybe. He wanted to take you fishing in his boat. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.